Published 1303 EDT, the 16th of August 2017. Updated 1306 EDT, the 16th of August 2017. Sarah Palin has slammed Iceland for its abortion policy after it was revealed the Nordic country terminates more than 99% of babies with Down syndrome. The former Alaska governor, whose son Trig was born with the condition in 2008, compared the policy to those used in Hitler's Germany in his racist quest to build the perfect Aryan race. To try to snuff out a life, in the name of building a perfect race, harkens back to Nazi Germany, she told Fox News. But Helga Sahl Olafsdottir of Landspítala University Hospital in Reykjavik, argues most people see the terminations as a way of avoiding suffering for both child and family. Sarah Palin, pictured with her Down syndrome son Trig, has slammed Iceland for its abortion policy after it was revealed the Nordic country terminates more than 99% of babies with the condition. Iceland, a mostly secular country, doesn't see abortion as a murder, Olafsdottir said in a recent CBS report. We see it as a thing we ended to prevent suffering. We ended a possible life that may have had a huge complication, preventing suffering for the child and for the family. And I think that is more right than seeing it as a murder that's so black and white. Life isn't black and white. Life is gray. Palin has long been an outspoken opponent of abortion, even in the cases of rape and incest. Her view on abortion of fetuses with Down syndrome became especially strong after she gave birth to her son Trig, now 9, who was diagnosed with the condition in utero. The former Alaska governor compared the policy to those used in Hitler's Germany in his racist quest to build the perfect Aryan race. On Wednesday, the 2008 GOP vice presidential nominee has pushed for a bill to ban abortion in cases where the fetus is diagnosed with Down syndrome. She told CNN's Jake Tapper previously, "I don't think because the child has one extra chromosome they should be able to snuff that life out." Prenatal tests have been around since the early 2000s to screen for genetic abnormalities and conditions such as Down syndrome. In Iceland, almost all couples who received a positive test for a fetus with the condition have terminated their pregnancies. Of course, Iceland is not alone in this. The United States has an estimated termination rate for Down syndrome of 67%, based on figures between 19,952,011, while across Northern Europe termination rates are generally high. In 2015, France had a 77% rate, the UK has 90%, and in Denmark it was 98%. But Iceland is undeniably the leader in termination rates for Down syndrome. Her view on abortion of fetuses with Down syndrome became especially strong after she gave birth to her son Trig, now 9, who was diagnosed with the condition in utero. More than 99%, it has almost eradicated births of children with the genetic disorder, which occurs when a person has a full or partial extra copy of chromosome 21, and causes mental disability and characteristic facial features. Sufferers die on average 20 years earlier than non-sufferers. Icelandic law even permits abortion after 16 weeks if the fetus has a deformity which Down syndrome falls under. In fact, the country had just 1 or 2 babies born with the condition every year, often the result of an inaccurate test. In the U.S., an estimated 6,000 Down syndrome babies are born annually. The law in Iceland states that every pregnant woman must be informed about the screening tests, which are around 85% accurate. Some expecting mothers in Iceland say they felt a little social pressure to take the test, although not everyone does, with between 15 and 20% declining any prenatal screening. Olafsdottir, who counsels women making the decision whether or not to terminate after learning their baby will be born with Down syndrome, says she often tells them, "This is your life, you have the right to choose how your life will look like." Helga Sahl Olafsdottir, pictured of Landspítala University Hospital in Reykjavik, argues most people see the terminations as a way of avoiding suffering for both child and family. Thordis Ingadottir took the test when she was pregnant with her third child aged 40. Results showed that it was very unlikely her child would have the condition, but after she gave birth her daughter Augusta, pictured now 7, was diagnosed. Thordis Ingadottir took the test when she was pregnant with her third child aged 40. Results showed that it was very unlikely her child would have the condition, but after she gave birth her daughter Augusta, now 7, was diagnosed. Since then, Ingadottir has become an activist for Down syndrome in Iceland and wants society to welcome and integrate her daughter, and others like her. "What kind of society do you want to live in?" she asked. Icelandic geneticist Kari Stephenson admits the almost 100% termination rate reflected relatively heavy-handed genetic counseling. "My understanding is that we have basically eradicated, almost, Down syndrome from our society. I don't think there's anything wrong with aspiring to have healthy children, but how far we should go in seeking those goals is a fairly complicated decision," added Stephenson, founder of Decode Genetics.